Have you ever noticed going through someone's stand code that sometimes you see this weird target plus equals notation? Well, today I'm going to explain to you what it means. First, let's go back to how a posterior is created. A posterior is the multiplication of many probability distribution equations, representing the prior and the likelihood. Remember, we write these equations with the notation that means some probability distribution of this parameter, or data, given these parameters, where this sign represents an equation. Another way of writing these equations is using the tilde or sampling notation, and this notation is how we usually write this in Stan. In the model block, we often just write parameter, tilde, some distribution, bracket, the parameters for each parameter and each data point. But remember, internally, these are getting turned into their previous notations and then all multiplied together. Now, in Stan, instead of multiplying these together internally, it actually logs them first and then adds them together. And this is fine because logging and adding is pretty much the same as multiplying as long as you take the inverse log afterwards. And in Stan, the result of logging and adding is called the target, which is really another way of saying the log posterior. So, when we add to the target, we are really adding to the log posterior. And this means that instead of writing the shorthand tilde notation, you could simply increment the target with the log posterior of the distribution, and it would be the same. And this is exactly what you see when you see the target notation. In this example, we are incrementing the target, which is the total sum of the log posterior at that point, by the log probability density function of a normal distribution describing this parameter, based on this mean and this standard deviation. And we can even do the same thing for all priors and even the likelihood, if we wanted to. Now let me leave you with an example. Here's some code that we used in episode 4 of Bayesian Inference with Stan, where we predict football matches. I can run this in R, and here we see the learned parameters. Now, I can go back and change all of the model statements to the target notation. And if I go back into R and compare my results with the regular tilde notation, we can see that it's exactly the same, which just confirms that the target notation and the tilde notation are just two different ways of writing the same thing. So there you have it. Now you know what the target notation is in a Stan program and how to use it in your own codes. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Stan related content. If you're interested in getting started with Bayesian Inference, check out my YouTube series, Bayesian Inference with Stan. See you in the next one.